Time to do the job. Time to do the job! Behold the jobber of jobbers. Danimal Jobber.
What's up, everybody? This is the Edmonton area's own D-Job, Danimal Jobber, self-proclaimed Duke of the Cruiserweights, with another episode of Jobbing Out with Danimal Jobber, 205 Live and WWE Cruiserweight Report. This is once again brought to you courtesy of the amazing Edmonton Sports Podcast Network, Edmonton SPN. I'm excited to announce the official launch of the Jobber Champion, the official Danimal Jobber t-shirt on whatamaneuver.net on the Edmonton SPN Collection Store. Pick up your official Danimal Jobber t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, hoodie, child or toddler size shirt, and even the baby onesie to start your baby right as a little jobber. Once again, that's available on whatamaneuver.net. In sports this week, all Canadian teams are gone from the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the Pittsburgh Penguins lead the Nashville Predators 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals series. In the NBA, arguably the two best teams, the Golden State Warriors and the defending champions, the Cleveland Cavaliers, meet once again in the finals for the third year in a row. And this is really the rubber match, as the Golden State Warriors won the first series, and last year the Cleveland Cavaliers won. So we're going to see what happens, who actually comes out on top of the, almost like a rivalry, I guess. Like in wrestling. It was on Raw this week. They set yet another yearly low in ratings. In the main event on Raw, Roman Reigns defeated Seth Rollins clean. That won't go over well with the Smarks and is not likely to help the ratings either. Unfortunately, due to time restraints, with me being away most of the week, I was not able to watch SmackDown live, so I won't be able to comment on that. On Sunday, however, we have the Raw-branded pay-per-view Extreme Rules, which features two Cruiserweight matches. A mixed tag team match between Noam Dar and Alicia Fox against Rich Swann and Sasha Banks, as well as a long-awaited third and hopefully final Cruiserweight title match between Austin Aries and Neville. This is a submission match, so there won't be any disqualification finish this time. Only a submission from one of the two competitors can end the match. Who will come out of Extreme Rules as Cruiserweight Champion? You'll have to watch my preview and prediction show I'll be doing this weekend, which will be up on my Danimal Jobber YouTube channel. Unfortunately, due to time restraints, there will not be a podcast version of this. However, so you'll have to check out my YouTube channel, Danimal Jobber. Also, in 2 weeks, we have the SmackDown-branded Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which I'm really looking forward to. It will not only feature Alberta's own Jinder Mahal defending the WWE Championship in a rematch against Randy Orton, and the SmackDown Live's Money in the Bank ladder match, but for the first time, we'll have a women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It should be great. Anyways, before we go to the Cruiserweight action, here's a special message from our government. We're aware of the problem, and we're searching for a solution. We know we let you down. We apologize. We're striving to solve the problem, and are working hard to regain your trust. And we're getting better. Our government, everybody! Anyways, down to the Cruiserweight action. On main event, we kick off the week with Grand Metalik versus TJP. As they enter the ring, the announcers remind viewers this match was a rematch of the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic, in which TJP beat Grand Metalik to become the first Cruiserweight champion. This match was not quite as good, though, even though it was on a show called Main Event. Funny! Anyways, the crowd is into the match, booing TJP and cheering for Grand Metalik. It seems TJP is gaining heel momentum, whether it's on his own merits or from his affiliation with the champion Neville. This is a good but quick match. Grand Metalik has the bulk of the good offense, hitting a number of great moves from the top rope. And I said it, top rope, not top turnbuckle. Metalik likes to do things differently. Grand Metalik does finally try a vault from the top rope, however, and that's where TJP does something which would make Drew Gulak proud by raising his knees up and stopping Metalik cold. After that, TJP hits his detonation kick and gets the win. This match was fairly simple and short, as I said earlier, but entertaining enough for a main event. Anyways, on Monday Night Raw, we had Noam Dar with Alicia Fox versus Rich Swann and Sasha Banks. Before the match, they recap the tension that's been happening between Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks, which complements the ongoing feud from the Alicia Fox storyline between Rich Swann and Noam Dar. My pal Aaron Riff from NoDQ.com was saying in a recent video that this rivalry is not good for Sasha Banks. Well, it is a temporary downgrade for her. I'm enjoying her addition to this feud. I'm especially looking forward to the mixed tag team match at Extreme Rules. I think the Cruiserweight division has needed a bit of infusion from a main event talent like Sasha Banks. By the way, if you're not watching Aaron Riff's wrestling videos on NoDQ.com, why the heck not? He's one of the best down-to-earth wrestling experts on YouTube. You're missing out if you're not a fan of Aaron Riff and NoDQ.com. Anyways, the match itself was a fairly quick match. Before you know it, Rich Swann is up on the top rope to hit his Phoenix Splash. So, of course, Alicia Fox breaks it up and knocks him off the top rope to make the match go longer, right? No. To end the match quickly, as per usual on Raw, Sasha Banks takes out Alicia Fox as she tries, pushing her hard to the side of the ring, creating more tension between the two of them. Meanwhile, Rich Swann hits the Phoenix Splash and sets up for the win. After the match, Rich Swann is showing off his dance moves in the ring with Sasha Banks, and he asks Sasha Banks to dance. Of course, she looks at the crowd saying, "Should I dance? I'm really not sure about these things." Of course she dances, and her and Rich Swann do a short synchronized dance routine in the ring to "Ooh, ooh, can you handle this? Ooh, ooh, can you handle this?" Dang, these two really intuitively know each other's dance moves so perfectly right on the spot like that. How convenient. You know, when I see Rich Swann doing his head moves alongside a lady, for some reason all I can think about is Quagmire from Family Guy. Giggity 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 goo. A bit later on, they recap the awesome street fight match between Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick from last week's 205 Live. This is the only time we'll see these two on this week, unfortunately. Then we have a tag team match between Austin Aries and Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus TJP and Neville. This match is just a showcase to add tension to the Cruiserweight Championship match between Austin Aries and Neville. Neville, of course, is his usual arrogant self, waving his title in the face of Austin Aries. They actually give these guys quite a bit of time to work this time, unlike the first match on Raw. Neville does a great job of selling this match with his heel arrogance. I just love Neville's heel work as the Cruiserweight Champion. Anyways, early on, Jack Gallagher does his corner handstand, and Neville runs right into Gallagher's boots. How have these heels not figured this out yet? Are they short of memory, or are they just not prepared for their matches? The match has some pretty entertaining moments, anyways, including a fun sequence of events that leads to Austin Aries hitting his heat-seeking missile suicide dive. And the match ends when Neville misses his red arrow, and Austin Aries quickly slips Neville into the last chancery, and wait for it! Neville taps out, giving Aries and Gallagher the victory. Of course, Neville does a great job of selling out how upset he is that Aries made him tap out, while Aries makes a huge deal about the fact that he did in fact tap out. Can you say, drama? And then we have 205 Live. For the show, they recap the drama and tension between Neville and Austin Aries. They have Neville being all arrogant, saying that no one is on the Neville level, and that Austin Aries is delusional, because he has already beaten him twice. Austin Aries says that Neville is delusional about his 2 wins, and reminds people of how Neville won by controversial methods the last 2 times. At the end, Austin Aries promises that he will win, and he has a whole lot of submission moves he has been waiting to use on Neville. Anyways, the show starts off reminding viewers about Extreme Rules on Sunday, and getting into the first match, which is Noam Dar with Alicia Fox versus Rich Swann with Sasha Banks. Once again, a match that was seen previously in the week, but this time it was on Raw just the day before. It clearly appears to be a way to cut the cost of 205 Live's budget by leaving various stars out each week and using the same one several times, and of course having the same matchup twice in a week. I don't mind as much this time though, because these 2 matches are very different and have different results, and they're building towards the mixed tag team match on Extreme Rules. Overall, they used the 2 matches to build an even better story leading into the pay-per-view match. Noam Dar and Alicia Fox are doing an in-ring promo after entering, but are interrupted by Rich Swann and Sasha Banks, and with an always entertaining, "Ooh, ooh, can you handle this? Ooh, ooh, can you handle this?" entrance. Anyways, the focus of the pre-match drama were on the tensions between Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks. Alicia Fox criticizes Sasha Banks for not being with a true love like her and Noam Dar. Sasha counters by saying that her and Rich Swann have a lot in common, like dancing, fashion, and getting revenge on the 2 of you. Alicia Fox then says, "Fashion? Please. At least I didn't get my bootleg done in Atlanta." You know, upsetting the Atlanta crowd. And Sasha Banks then says, "Oh, you want to talk about weaves? At least my track ain't showing, boo-boo." I have no idea what they just said, so I can't translate. I'll just leave it at that. Anyways, the 2 men hold back their ladies and the match can begin. This is a pretty good entertaining match. The Atlanta crowd decently into it as Noam Dar and Alicia Fox were able to garnish some decent crowd heat. Late in the match, Rich Swann tries to bounce off the ropes for an attack, but Alicia Fox grabs his leg and trips him up. That's when Sasha Banks comes running over, and the 2 ladies had, you guessed it, cat fight! Yeah, women's be crazy! Sasha Banks gets the better of Fox, and even rips out one of her hair extensions. However, meanwhile, back in the ring, Rich Swann goes for a corner attack, but Noam Dar moves out of the way, causing him to run into the turnbuckle. While Swann is stunned, Noam Dar sets up and hits his supernova kick and gets the victory. This match ends with Dar and Alicia Fox backing out from ringside, trying to hide the fact that Alicia Fox is missing her hair extension, while Sasha Banks waves the extension around in the ring. These two matches did a great job, in my opinion, of creating good tension going into the mixed tag team match on Sunday. I know I'm looking forward to it. After the break, Dasha interviews Cedric Alexander about his return to action following his 3-month injury and his feelings on Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. He starts off by saying that he believes in karma and that at Extreme Rules, the Extreme Fools, Noam Dar and Alicia Fox are going to get what's coming to them. I believe in karma, what you give is what you get returned. I believe you can appreciate real love till you've been burned. I felt that Cedric Alexander needed a little affirmation for his comment. Wow, where did that come from? I haven't heard that song from Savage Garden in ages. Anyway, Cedric Alexander refers to Alicia Fox as the Black Widow and Noam Dar as a snake, but says that he didn't come back from a 3-month injury to rehash old relationship problems. He says that 3 months may not seem like a long time. When you're talking about one's WWE dream, it's an eternity. He says, now if you'll excuse me, I gotta make up for lost time. Then we have Cedric Alexander versus Corey Hollis from NXT. This is pretty much a quick squash match. Cedric Alexander wins with an impressive combination of moves. He does a handspring enziguri off the ropes, does a top rope springboard forearm attack similar to AJ Styles' phenomenal forearm. He then hits his lumbar check to seal the victory. The Atlanta crowd seemed into this match too, cheering on Cedric Alexander. I'm definitely more impressed with the Atlanta crowd than many of the other crowds I do these shows in front of. Then they quickly recap last week's street fight between Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick, so that no one will forget them while they're being kept off TV this week as a likely cost-saving measure. We also didn't get to see Lindsay Dorado nor the premier athlete Tony Nese either. Of course, they take time to emphasize Akira Tozawa celebrating his victory with a little battle cry, ah, ah, ah. It wouldn't be a Jobbing Out Cruiserweight report if I didn't get to do the ah, 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 ah at least once, would it? Then we have a grudge match between Drew Gulak and Mustafa Ali. Obviously, Drew Gulak comes out on his Cruiserweight Crusade routine with his no-fly zone sign and his megaphone. However, while he's preaching to the crowd this time, Ali attacks him with an over-the-top rope vault to ringside. He then breaks Drew Gulak's sign over his knee. This was the final match on the show, but wasn't much of a main event, as it was relatively short. The match started to turn when Drew Gulak knocked Mustafa Ali off the corner turnbuckle hard onto the apron outside of the ring. Ali does manage to hit his roll in through the ropes from the outside apron into a neckbreaker combination. However, he then goes to the top rope and hits Gulak with a flying body press. Gulak, however, uses Ali's momentum and rolls Ali over into his own pinning combination, hooks the leg and gets a big 3-count victory, once again showing Ali why his high-flying show-off moves are not the way to win wrestling matches. Gulak leaves the ring acting like a gracious winner to the crowd, thanking the audience and everything. After the match, Dasha interviews Drew Gulak, and he says that the victory was not for him. It was for what he and many other members of the WWE Universe believe, that this is the way the future of 205 Live should become. Did showboating get me the win tonight? No, I won with efficiency and class. Did showboating help Mustafa Ali out there? No. He lost. And he needs to learn what I've been trying to teach him time and time again. High flying doesn't pay. Staying grounded is the way. Thank you. Great promo. His character is like a cross between a politician and a preacher. Finally, we have a segment that takes the place of the main event. An encounter between Austin Aries and Neville. Austin Aries comes out brandishing his banana and high-fiving the audience with it. He plugs his new book, Food Fight, and mentions how everyone is buzzing about how he made Neville tap out on Raw, what they keep calling the tap herd round the world. Keeps going on about how Neville tapped out, and then proceeds to show the footage of him putting the last chancery on Neville and him tapping out. He even had the crowd chanting, "He tapped out! He tapped out!" He asks if everyone got a good look, and then shows footage of a close-up of Neville tapping out once again. Then the crowd seems to want one more look. Play it again! Play it again! They show it a third time. Neville tapping out, but this time in slow motion. I think Neville tapped out. We get the message. Neville freaking tapped out, alright? Austin Aries says that people are making a big deal about how this is the first time in the Cruiserweight division that Neville has tapped out. But he reminds people that the only reason he didn't tap out the previous 2 times against him was the controversial methods he used to avoid losing his title. As Aries was saying, you see, this Sunday at Extreme Rules, Neville's music hits and he comes out to challenge Aries. Of Of course, the crowd is getting on his case saying, "You tapped out! You tapped out!" Neville yells that Austin Aries got lucky and that he is a disease and a scab on the face of 205 Live. And this Sunday at Extreme Rules, the king of the Cruiserweights is going to eradicate you once and for all by inflicting insufferable agony on you because 205 Live, this is my kingdom. This has always been my kingdom. And you've outstayed your welcome. Then TJP attacks Austin Aries from behind, and Neville comes in the ring and takes out Austin Aries' injured knee. The two proceed to attack Aries. TJP holds Aries from behind while Neville kicks his injured knee again. Then he puts Aries in the Rings of Saturn submission hold while TJP jumps on his knee. The refs finally come in and break up the attack. And the show ends with Neville's music playing and Neville and TJP standing tall in the ring. Will this Sunday be the end of Neville's Cruiserweight title reign? Check out my preview and predictions video on my Daniel Jobber YouTube channel to see all my official predictions for the pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. That, my friend, is the end of this week's Cruiserweight action. We'll have a lot more matches and Cruiserweight action next week, with the addition of 2 Cruiserweight matches at Extreme Rules. Anyways, thanks for listening to Jobbing Out with Danimal Daniel Jobber, 205 Live, and WWE Cruiserweight Report. Once again, this is the Edmonton area's own D-Job, Danimal Daniel Jobber, self-proclaimed Duke of the Cruiserweights. You can follow me on Twitter at Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J, and on Instagram with Danimal Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters. Also, check out my awesome website, DanimalDanielJobber.ca, where I have all my fun stuff and my awesome Cruiserweight power rankings, which everyone enjoys. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel, Daniel Jobber, as I mentioned, which will have the preview and predictions video for Extreme Rules this weekend. Once again, this podcast is brought courtesy of the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network. I'm proud to have my show coming to you alongside such great podcasts as Mike the Ref's own The Blown Call and the shorter podcast known as Quick Calls. It's also alongside such great Alberta wrestling shows as CWC Evolution and RCW Breakout, featuring Mike the Ref's awesome wrestling commentary. Finally, there's the Sounds of Struggle podcast featuring the always entertaining Chris Parrish and Maniac. Good to see that Maniac is back this week after being unavailable to attend last week's show due to weather problems. Anyways, make sure you check these guys out. They have great chemistry and they know their sports stuff and wrestling stuff and they talk about it all. Never a bad show from these two boys. Remember, you can enjoy the magic of the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play Music, and the awesome mobile app Podbean. We also hope you'll take the time to subscribe to us on vid.me, as we need enough subscribers to get officially verified so we can start putting out whatever content we want on the channel. Whichever way you watch the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment telling us what you think, and of course letting us know that you want to see more great content from our network. Finally, and most importantly, if you love us and you enjoy us and you realize what great content we put out on the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network, go to whatamaneuver.net and buy official Edmonton Sports Podcast Network merchandise, including, as I stated earlier, the official Danimal Daniel Jobber t-shirt. You can find all the merchandise at https://whatamaneuver.net/collections/Edmonton-SPN. Finally, I hope you will follow the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network on Twitter at EdmontonSPN with a capital E, a capital S, a capital P, and a capital N, and follow Mike the Ref's Instagram channel at Mike the Ref EDM, all lowercase letters. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up with that. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy Extreme Rules. And we'll see you again next week. Jobber out! Oh, did I mention that Neville tapped out?
Time to do the job! Behold the jobber of jobbers. Daniel Jobber.